So they've announced this White House UFC fight. Can we expect to see you on the card?
Yeah, I can't promise anyone anything, but I have very strong feeling that I'll be on that card. It's going to be historic.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Any possible names you think?
Well, no, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall, but we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. Be only fitting to have a...
How do you think that would have gone, Aspinall, John Jones? Prime versus Prime.
Prime, I'll go John Jones.
Really?
Sure. Yeah, 100%.
So you won't even give Tom a go at the Prime?
No. Like I said, I rate John Jones highly. I believe that he's the best to ever do it. And Tom is a... For now, he's the guy now, you know what I mean?
But if they would have fought, then do you think that Tom had a strong chance because of the timing?
Yeah.
And fighting's always about timing. Boxing,
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think for the speed, the power there's...
John Jones has finally broken his silence regarding a possible showdown with Tom Aspinall next year, and all signs point to a comeback. After months of staying quiet and even announcing his retirement, Jones is now hinting at a return for what could become the most symbolic and high-profile event in UFC history that is now openly expressing interest in fighting on July 4th, 2026. A date that marks America's 250th anniversary and is set to feature a UFC event right on the grounds of the White House. This historic card was recently revealed by former President Donald Trump. With UFC President Dana White throwing his full support behind it, the hype is already building, with rumors of huge names set to headline. And leading that conversation is none other than John Bones Jones himself.
Kyle was asking him what would be his dream card. And he said, Jones versus Aspinall, Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler. He thought that would be the perfect one. And the guy started talking about this, Kyle, me. And Dana goes, the UFC landscape will have changed by then. We got a whole year. Hey, initially we thought this was just a thought. It's not a thought. It ain't a thought. When Dana starts saying stuff like definitive, like...
At UFC Baku, Dana White made a major announcement. John Jones had officially informed the UFC of his retirement. According to White, it was a done deal, and as a result, Tom Aspinall would be promoted to the status of undisputed heavyweight champion after spending nearly 600 days with the interim belt for the UFC. It marked a formal passing of the torch. But behind the scenes, that retirement wasn't set in stone for long. Everything shifted when former President Donald Trump revealed plans for a groundbreaking UFC event to be held at the White House. Just 2 weeks after Dana's statement, and after Jones had shared what seemed like a farewell message to fans, John quietly re-entered the USADA testing pool. That move, required for any athlete plotting a return, immediately reignited the buzz around a possible clash with Aspinall now. It's becoming clear. John Jones is on the comeback trail, and he has his eyes set on reclaiming the heavyweight throne on a stage the whole world will be watching.
His one-shot knockout power. I believe that would make Tom Aspinall hesitate a little bit. And look, Tom would be the favorite in that fight. But if you don't think Derek Lewis has a shot to shut Tom Aspinall's lights out and steal that belt, not only be the knockout king, but add undisputed heavyweight world champion to his list, there's nothing more he needs. That would be the absolute fight to make for Tom Aspinall while he waits for the UFC White House card and hopefully gets John Jones after that. Now, again, it's easier to talk about getting a fight with Derek Lewis than it is to actually win it.
John Jones recently opened up during a TikTok conversation with the joy of everything, giving fans a rare glimpse into his mindset. While no contracts have been finalized, Jones made it clear his interest in returning is real, that he admitted he couldn't guarantee anything just yet, but said he has a strong gut feeling he'll be part of the historic UFC card being planned for July 4th, 2026 that I end classic Jones style. He didn't frame it as just another fight. He drew parallels to some of the most iconic moments in combat sports history, comparing the upcoming White House event to Muhammad Ali's legendary showdowns like the Thriller in Manila and the Rumble in the Jungle. Jones believes the 2026 card could surpass those historic bouts in global impact. That he acknowledged Tom Aspinall as the current champion and made it clear that if Aspinall still holds the belt at year's end, that's the fight he wants. But for Jones, this isn't just about reclaiming gold. He spoke about the symbolism. An American competing for a UFC title on the White House lawn during the nation's 250th birthday. He called it the ultimate moment, saying he's willing to put everything on the line to be part of it. For him, this isn't just a comeback, it's a patriotic mission.
John Jones unretired.
And John Jones is going to just for that fight.
He went back into the testing pool.
Right.
But Tyler and I debated because he hasn't fought in 4 freaking years.
Yeah. I would still pick him over whoever they would
Aspinall's
charge.
been screwed.
Right. Well, Aspinall's he's
He
the
waived the
champ
first
now.
payday.
Right.
Yeah, he's the champ, but he hasn't been paid.
No, but I would assume that if Aspinall is successful and wins once or twice going into 26, that would be the match.
It's now official. The UFC's highly anticipated White House event is locked in for July 4th, 2026, that according to both Donald Trump and Dana White, this will be an invite-only event, with no public tickets available. The South Lawn of the White House, a place never used for anything remotely like this, is set to become the most iconic stage in MMA history. The symbolism is powerful, an American legend potentially stepping back into the octagon on Independence Day, in the heart of Washington, D.C., fighting not just for a title, but for legacy for Jon Jones. This is far more than just another return bout. It's a defining moment, a stage crafted perfectly for a fighter of his stature. For years, Jones had sidestepped the idea of facing Tom Aspinall. Even as Aspinall rose through the ranks and eventually claimed the interim heavyweight title, Jones seemed to steer clear. He avoided the topic in interviews and even shut down conversations when Aspinall's name came up. That reluctance once looked like avoidance. But now, everything has changed. This isn't just about Tom Aspinall anymore. It's about the occasion, the meaning, and the chance to write history. And that, it seems, is what finally pulled Jon Jones back into the spotlight.
And say, no, you're not going to take this. And do you know what Jon Jones did? You have it. I don't want to fight. You can have it. This is unbelievable. The greatest of all time. What a load of... I'm sorry. Never going to call that him the GOAT ever again. Because being the greatest of all time is not just about winning. And that's what Jon Jones doesn't understand. It's about how you conduct yourself throughout the whole of your career. Are you willing to fight the biggest challenges, the biggest...
Of course, the road back isn't without hurdles. Earlier this year, Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall were reportedly deep in talks for a potential clash that nearly became official. Dana White later confirmed that the negotiations had actually been finalized. But at the last moment, Jones pulled the plug and announced his retirement instead. The decision caught the UFC off guard and left Aspinall in limbo, without the long-awaited title unification bout. But once the White House event was revealed, everything shifted. Jones picked up the phone and contacted UFC headquarters, signaling a renewed interest in making the fight happen. That call, insiders say, set the wheels in motion for his return. Starting with his quiet re-entry into the USADA testing pool. Since then, Dana White has made it clear the UFC is open to whatever direction Jones wants to go. And if that means revisiting the showdown with Aspinall, the organization is ready.
We don't know if he was serious. Is he not retired anymore? Is he back in
You jump back in the pool, so...
How sick is that for you that now you kind of got this White House event for them and it's like... I feel like this is what brings...
No matter who popped up or who didn't or whatever, we would have put on an incredible card.
What would be the dream main event?
The dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones.
Is it possible that McGregor...
Jon Jones has a reputation for setting a high price tag when it comes to risky matchups, what he famously refers to as FU money. For a showdown with Tom Aspinall, sources suggest his camp floated numbers ranging from $17 to $25 million. That it's unclear how close the UFC came to meeting those demands during previous negotiations. But the stakes have changed with the White House event now on the table. This card isn't just another pay-per-view. It has global media attention, political weight, and historic significance. The potential revenue from such a spectacle could shatter records, and that alone might push the UFC to go all in to secure the fight, regardless of the cost.
Look, I'm as big a Jon Jones fan as anybody, and I've always defended he's not afraid of Tom. He's willing to fight anybody. It's hard to not fall into that narrative here, though. You know, like, to me, like, fighting in the White House, like, that doesn't do it. But maybe I'm a different person. You know, maybe everybody looks at it different. For me, like, if you tell me they're going to have a fight at the White House, like, cool, all right. Like, it'd be cool to do it. If not, whatever. Like, a fight's a fight. Maybe Jon looks at it different. Maybe that...
From Tom Aspinall's perspective, things couldn't be clearer that he's made it known that he's fully prepared and more than willing to face Jon Jones. In his own words, the reason the fight hasn't happened yet has nothing to do with him. It's been on Jones' side. Now officially recognized as the undisputed heavyweight champion, Aspinall has reiterated his desire to legitimize that title by defeating the one man many still view as the division's true king. And with the White House event looming, Aspinall remains the primary target for Jones. But that comes with pressure. He'll need to hold onto the belt through any upcoming defenses to keep that massive fight alive. Jones himself has said that he plans to face whoever has a title at year's end. If Aspinall stumbles or gets dethroned, Jones could shift focus to someone else. But for now, all signs still point to Aspinall as the man in his sights.
But it's the legacy. To be able to go to the heavyweight division, take out everyone, and then take out the John Jones legend, you know, and then go back to even beating a few of these new school guys, will literally put Tom Aspinall as the GOAT of the heavyweight division.
John Jones has also made one thing clear. He's already training and mentally locked in for the opportunity ahead. He's called the upcoming White House event too historic to pass up and has been quietly putting in work at his gym in Albuquerque, steadily preparing for a full-scale return. While no official fight agreement has been signed yet, sources say Jones has begun ramping up his physical conditioning and keeping a close eye on the heavyweight landscape at this point. There's little doubt Jones is aiming for a July 2026 comeback, and he might not be the only big name on that monumental card. Rumors are swirling that Conor McGregor is also being lined up to compete at the White House event, setting a stage for one of the most star-studded nights in UFC history.
Is there a fighter in MMA or the UFC that you just find absolutely insufferable? Because for me, it's John Jones, and there is no close second. John Jones defended his heavyweight title against a retired 42-year-old Stipe Miocic back in November. Ever since then, John has been saying, what has Tom Aspinall done to deserve to fight me? You know, besides Tom being the interim champ and having a defense with that belt, John has just found every possible way to not fight Tom,
Although Conor McGregor hasn't stepped into the octagon since suffering that leg injury against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. Talks of his return have never fully stopped. The BKFC president David Feldman recently revealed that McGregor personally told him he was eyeing a UFC comeback sometime in 2025. Reports suggest that McGregor has re-entered the UFC's drug testing pool, a required step for any fighter planning a return. But there's a hitch. Despite being back in the pool, McGregor hasn't logged a single drug test so far this year. That silence raises real questions about how committed or realistic his return timeline actually is, and whether he'll be ready in time to share the stage with John Jones at the White House event. Meanwhile, John Jones has offered deeper insight into his own comeback. Speaking on the red carpet at the ESPN, he admitted that his retirement was genuine. He truly believed he was done with fighting. But the moment, the symbolism, and the magnitude of the White House card changed everything.